Right. Call the Commissioner Weekly Working Session for March 30th, 2026 to order at 4:09. As you were 14:09, 2:09. In attendance, we have all three commissioners, as well as our Executive Administrative Assistant Tiffany Tanner. We have our Clerk and Recorder Alexis Nixon. We have our Treasurer Sandy Brown, our HR Representative Brittany Steigels, as well as member of our community, Doug. Welcome, sir. What do we have online? Yeah, welcome, everybody. All right, public comments and non-agenda items. Public comments on agenda items. Discuss potential job positions. You know, on that, Mish?
Well, there's two, we kind of talked about the other one earlier with, position and, the Shawnee's position, and we gotta figure out what we're gonna be doing with that position. We had a discussion with, Daryl here a little bit ago regarding that one. I think there's some things to figure out on that, on how we're gonna move forward with that. He mentioned he does not want that to continue under his department, but there are some vital functions that happen there. A lot different than when they started, because I was more of a switchboard operator type. Phones that do that, but there's still a lot of things such as with the mail and other things that
Sure.
does with
Park stuff and
so. And then the other one is the home delivered meals delivery driver for the senior center.
yes, this one Britt just gave us. All right.
Kind of need to figure out what we're gonna do on that.
Well, home delivered meals. Part-time, 27.5 hours, driver site, 1704. And this one was just recently updated not too long ago, right? As we, yeah, so.
Yeah, and if you need to look at that.
Okay. I think we do need
Dated November 22.
November 22.
22.
Okay.
Good job. Yes.
Yeah, I do think we need to get somebody in there as soon as we can.
Where are we sitting budgetary? Why? With the council on aging?
I'm looking for, oh wait, this is the December one, so we've had 4%.
Are we still pretty much in the hole? Over there?
Cash is in the hole. You had last month, it's not on that one, Jake, that one's my overall.
Okay.
It was, I think on that one that I gave you last month, it was like 34,000. Last month, in the difference in revenue and expenditures, you were up $430. This month is not promising. It's going to be down a bit more. I'm not sure on, you said that when I kind of asked you the other day off of your memory, what your claims are, your food and all that. Are they still running? What is your guess?
I would say probably in the $500 mark, around there.
The claim?
For claims? No, for food.
For your food all month?
That's what we've spent. No, that's just what we spent thus far. Between our food items.
March?
Mhm.
No, there's more than that.
I'll double check, but,
Yeah, just,
This one is way more than that.
I gotta look, I didn't see the Cisco one yet, so. Might be in here.
because then, is what's gonna happen, because, you are down 1,000 in that, area state tax, they cut it by 1,000.
Mhm.
Is it $1,030 or something? $1,028, they cut that check.
Okay,
Continue on? Forward?
Through, I think through June.
They were really late starting, and they said that they hadn't signed it yet, so then they went ahead and gave some, and now they have cut it again.
okay.
Yes.
It did not, you didn't have it in the beginning,
Oh,
and they gave a little bit, and then they cut it, they gave it months after, you know, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be, way more, sorry. The Cisco one alone was 1,300, so.
Oh, okay, so then what's gonna happen is, this month, just by guessing, or by looking from what the receipted stuff is, you're not gonna quite break even. And but it'll, so I'm waiting for next month because I feel like I had to get out 2 months before I could think. Because you were down in February, then it can, started again, then you got March. I just think April is before you're gonna see where you can predict.
Sure.
Are you talking about the senior center?
Mhm.
Okay.
And in March, part of that was $861, I think, of memorial money.
Donation?
Yeah, they are neighbors.
Like recorded with their county credit card because they didn't have any water or milk, so that's $130 bill that will be coming that way. So, just so you're aware.
And I think Lexi, you guys wrote that claim, but you
Yeah.
used that line item, but it'll still reflect in our.
Yeah, so once we get the bill for March or whatever, for that day, just so you're aware, it's about $130. No more than 130.
And that was just waters and
We got water,
drinks or whatever, so.
yeah, water and milk, and then, the sugar-free Gatorade for home delivered meals. They didn't have anything to drink. So that's what we're at, that they can do.
So it behoove us to pump the brakes on this until
well. We gotta get help down there.
we do.
I thought.
So I know-
One of the positions that was already accounted for though in the budget, am I right?
It is, yeah. So,
But we have no budget, we're in the hole.
I mean, the only thing that I'm gonna ask you, Jake, is, who you have for a backup person.
David.
So you do have one backup, so then it wouldn't be,
Oh, we would be lost,
you
but
won't be completely with no one to cook.
correct.
But you help serve meals every day, right?
Mhm.
But you said last week that we got volunteers
We got some volunteers that have been
that
helping
coming
out all
in
week.
and helping at the lunches.
Mhm.
Would it be possible to tell us out there that you delivered the meals? That sounds like you did today even.
Yeah, went and did home delivery, because Lori was out and, so David took, the lead on cooking the meals, so I delivered, so.
Oh, cause he normally.
He normally does the delivery. So this position right here being the, so it,
Do we have a volunteer that would please step up? Deliver meals?
I'm sure,
I was asking around today and not so far, but
if we did that, Britt, what would be the background check that we need? Just driver's license and insurance, or?
Not necessarily a background check, it just says must possess a valid driver's license and driving record for the past 18 months, so you have to look into it, whoever you were able to find. Or as a volunteer,
Sure.
have to check on that though before we give them the okay.
Okay.
Do you think you can wait 2 weeks before you go and post it? Or do you think, cause
why don't we post it and then if
I
we
just
can't,
think that April, you're gonna find where you're gonna make the break to decide. I think that's gonna give you enough time after you have did a close to hear.
well, the thing is, once we open it, we're not gonna be hiring probably somebody that day. But it's probably gonna be a little while down the road. Start opening and advertising now, looking.
No, but the council on aging will be responsible for that,
Mm-hmm,
you have to remember
mm-hmm.
that. Everything costs money,
I think we need to wait and get a better outlook of where we're sitting,
where are you gonna advertise?
a more realistic projection of where we're at after this last couple months. I think we get a better idea at this point.
When you advertise, where do you advertise and what's the cost of that?
That is an auditor question.
Mine's like 27 something.
So that was for
Daily news,
weekly that's going away.
the paper that no longer exists after Wednesday.
What?
Yeah.
Like you're done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's another.
Okay.
That's on the list of issues.
So I would say we just go ahead and try to get it posted and at least get it out there. If we don't hire somebody, okay, right now we don't say we put in the paper. It's not gonna get this week's paper and paper going forward.
Well, and it's also, it would go on our website and then I put it on job service, you know.
Well, it's gonna take a while, so, and that doesn't cost anything to put on the radio or on the state.
Yep.
Job service site.
You guys
This is
have-
this is Kim. Sorry, just a heads up and something to keep in the back of your mind. You have to have a certified food manager on site when you're making meals at all times. The only one you have is Lori. So when she's gone, you don't have one right now at this time. So you have to get somebody else trained.
Benita Barnhart was.
I don't think she's turned anything in there.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Kim.
There's different levels, so just make sure there's like a certified food handler but you need a certified food manager on site when food is being made.
Sure.
So, I mean, you
Yeah.
have time to get that into compliance because you did have to and she left or is gone now, so
Mhm.
just wanted to mention that.
No, thank you. That's a good point. Okay. Yeah, let's put it out there. Okay. Yeah, we'll get that.
We're gonna go ahead and advertise it.
Yeah,
You guys just sign up.
let's get it out there. And then,
How's that work? If you get job applicants, you write to them and say, no, we decided not to do this, or is that how it works?
If they
If
decide
they
to pull the
choose
job.
not to do it?
Yeah, I would let
Oh.
the applicants know that there's no longer a need for the position, for the route we were to go.
Oh, I just, no idea.
okay. Then we want to discuss, the switchboard operator right now.
Oh, we kind of already talked about it the last meeting, Daryl, but it's something that we need to think about how how that position's gonna move forward.
What that's gonna
Keep
look
it-
like.
Yeah, keep it part-time, or it all goes underneath the clerk recorder's office, or
It was suggested to go under the auditor's office also, and not just by me. There's other people that think that. But Lexi had brought up the fact that she had pulled Shawnee in and used her under election nights.
I could use a part-time election clerk too. I have two of them posted, so if it needed to be a full-time position and it's really only part-time for mail because the phones do themselves, I could use that part-time person too. If the position was gonna be full-time.
so we create a part-time clerk recorder election, then part-time switchboard mail.
It would just be combined.
It'd just be, just added on. to those
Basically,
duties.
a full-time mail clerk / election clerk.
Yeah. Like,
But these are just ideas.
that was just an idea, because I needed it all. I'm looking for election clerk, so.
Mhm.
Or have it absorbed into the auditor's office. It's right there. It would be just in the
So we
afternoons for
move
the
that one
mail.
over here to
That office would be available, so that's something the auditors could, if they wanted to move Christine or whoever over. It would be. Somebody also there.
All right, well, let's explore options. Review and make changes to draft resolution number 26-31. The county board. Um. So, do you both have copies of the draft that Lacey sent over?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, I can make a copy for you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
oh,
Thank you for asking. Judy.
Yeah, get up. Yeah, all right.
You didn't have the resolution in there?
Yeah, we got the resolution right here.
Was it in these copies?
Well, we just have the draft resolution as well as the draft, operating rules. Here, sir.
Oh, there's this.
Let me go do it then there. There's problems with, I didn't print copies because you guys have them all on your computer.
Oh, we're okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so just going through this, Lacey made some highlights here. So looks like the first one on page 3. Mileage reimbursement shall be paid from funds appropriated for the Hill County Council on Aging or from the Hill County General Fund. And this, I know we talked a little bit about it during our meeting, but sounds like whenever, since we are having board members from across the county that would have to come to these meetings, mileage reimbursement is a thing. I get that when I go down to Great Falls or Helena for my meetings there. Where would it come out of? I think, I mean, I know we don't really have the money right now, but I think it should come out of the Council on Aging.
It would have to, because you have to keep it so you know your true expenses there. Cause if you go from here to there to everywhere, you'll never know your true expense.
Agreed.
So that's why, yes, you would come out of there. Now, is that a stipulation on so many miles or
I would assume so, yes.
are you just, is it saying that just outside of our city limits, I mean,
It says here in section 6, round trip mileage of 50 miles or more traveled for the purpose of attending these meetings. So,
oh, so it's a round trip, you have to do 25 miles one way. I get it.
so, I guess that's another question. Are we good with the 50 miles? I think that's pretty standard for county, isn't it?
Yeah,
How many is it up to Red Yard?
80 round trip. It's 40 miles one way.
So that wouldn't even cover if someone was on the board from Red Yard?
yeah.
It would. Yeah, because it'd be 80 miles round trip.
But it says 50.
50 round. 50 round.
Oh, it is established by the dealer. Okay. Round trip mileage of 50 miles or more traveled. So, yeah, Red Yard would be 80 round trip, so that would be covered. I think it's just Kremlin in basically. So if we had somebody, well, how far is Box Elder? Was it 20 minutes?
No, it's 23 miles, I think.
Okay, so Box Elder would be covered. I think it's anything beyond Kremlin is,
Oh, is that what
would
they're
fall
saying?
under it
20 minutes.
basically. Yeah, because Kremlin's 20, so that would be 40 miles round trip. Correct, Kim? You're local.
Yep, it's 20.
Okay. I just know, yeah, Kremlin's always the halfway point.
Mhm.
You do know that was, you do have people that are outside of that on other boards.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, and that's something that we could take a look at as well. I mean, so that way it's uniform for all boards, so
okay, just so that, yeah.
I think this is a good starting point, so.
Take out.
From the-
We want to strike or from the Hill County General Fund.
Correct.
We go back to page 1.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I just have a question on the second paragraph, last sentence. These operating rules in and of themselves hold no force of law.
Oh, where's that at?
But I don't understand what that's meaning if we're following, if they're acting. If they're executing their responsibilities under the MCA statutes, which are law, I don't understand why that's in there. Am I not understanding that correctly? Does anybody else have a thought on that?
Oh, you're looking on that second paragraph there.
Yeah, the very last sentence.
Rules in and of themselves hold no force of law. I'm not sure what that means. I think that's a good question for the legal meeting.
that they're acting within the confines of the MCA statutes, which are law,
Yeah, that makes sense.
they're enforcing
Yeah,
those statutes, those laws.
yeah, they would be
That doesn't
enforcing
make
those.
sense why it says that to me. Just maybe it's the way it's worded, I don't know, but
Okay.
it doesn't make sense, so that's what I've seen.
No, that's a good point. We'll check with legal on that.
And need to interrupt your line of thought on the
Oh, no. No, that's why
rest of
I
it.
think it's good to go through this, make sure. Yeah. Okay, so Article 6, meetings.
Critical.
Page 4, Section 1. An organizational meeting of the advisory board to be held annually on the second Tuesday of March of each calendar year for the purpose of electing officers. Interviewing objectives and goals of the advisory board and creation of a work plan in accordance with Article 7. Article 7. Article.
Annual work plan.
That's kind of like what we do with the health board. I think that's,
I do on my other,
What page are you
page 4, Article 6. And then, looking back or looking to Article 6 there. Or as you were Article 7. No, that matches up. I have no qualms with that.
Your monthly meetings, it would be good to keep for everybody after the 10th or so. We don't have them on the first, but if you go after the 10th,
because of reports that are provided.
correct?
I think that's under the next one, regular meetings.
Yeah, regular meeting, so we don't have to keep it at the
Okay.
second Tuesday of each month.
So are you saying under section 1, you want to leave what Lacey highlighted?
On section,
Yes.
on the preamble? Or as
Under
you,
the article.
Right here.
okay,
You want to leave that?
yes, please. I'm sorry, yes.
We go with something more like the third Wednesday or Tuesday of the month. That's usually definitely past the 10th at least. The middle of the month.
So. 2:30 out. Yeah, I'm good with that. That would help out with the recording, so we have the most accurate information going into that next meeting.
Correct.
Okay,
Second or third. Or I'm sorry, third Tuesday or Wednesday of the month. Like that. Gives it a good week out on the
right.
10th at least.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that would be best of that. I mean, we want to make sure our board has the most up-to-date information each month instead of lagging behind from month to month.
The advisory board shall meet once per month on third,
Third Tuesday of each month, so instead of second. So we're at Article 6 meetings on page 4, Bill,
Section 2.
Section 2. So instead of the second Tuesday of each month, we'll go the third.
Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah,
At 6 o'clock, do we want something where they, in the evening? Or do we want some during the day for people to meet? If we have a more volunteer,
Do we want to be that specific in this? I like the idea of it in writing, but
right.
we
I think
could,
the idea is at 6 is that it opens, people are working and it's not interrupting their work schedule.
to take out that time. That's what I'm saying. If it's more of a elderly board, they might want to meet late afternoon or right after lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Evenings might not work better for them.
Mhm. And if we have, board members coming from across the county, that makes for a late night for them.
Driving, yeah.
And one group may want it at another time and then they may want to change it to a different time.
Is this something that we can leave in place and then work with the board for the final draft? I mean, at least it's a starting point.
Well, I think we just leave the time out.
Strike it.
Ever Montana, period. And 6 p.m. Then at Haver, Montana, period, or comma, with special meetings called as needed. Chairperson, term of the,
Were you just gonna strike the time? Or are you gonna put the time to be determined?
yeah, TBD.
Boards where it used to be 5:30 at night, and then it eventually got changed to 6, and then it went to 6:30. As long as the board all agrees,
Right.
if there's a change, it has to be agreed upon. Not in our bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
It's just states what days and how many times through the year would be in our bylaws.
So they're going monthly meetings. They really don't need quarterly then.
I think so. I think that should be stricken because we already have up above with special meetings called. They can determine if they want extra meetings,
No.
special meetings. States it right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of overkill on that.
Stricken
What do you think, Bill?
section.
Special meetings?
No, the section 3 quarterly meetings. Question marks. We're already giving them the autonomy to call meetings as needed, aside from the monthly meetings, so
Yeah.
we really don't need the section 3 quarterly meetings.
Strike it.
Yeah.
Well, section one, an organization will be advised by should be held annually.
The annual one is to review the board chair, kind of like what we do with the health board.
Yeah, I would say we get rid of section 3.
How does Bullhook run theirs? Is it ran like this? It should be. Where you meet annually and you establish your board, who's chair.
It really varies, yeah. But well, certain months of the year is when the positions are voted on at regular meetings.
Annually.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, yeah, they have their annual meeting the same time they have their regular meeting,
Sometimes.
or they'll split it. But they'll usually have it on the same day.
So do we want to keep that one for that too? It says second Tuesday of March. of the calendar year. Do we want to change that to a third Tuesday
Well, that should be the,
in
I
March?
think at the same time, same date.
But it's for the organizational part of the meeting for the chairs. So you could even have that in February or January. March is kind of,
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be March, but I think it should be the same day of the week as the regular meeting.
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I
Same day,
said,
time.
third Tuesday. This one has second Tuesday.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of having a specific month. So then you're held to that.
Right. So, yeah, it would be, yeah, the third Tuesday.
I would go with January, February. You usually have your boards at the beginning of the year, not
Mhm.
3 months in.
Yeah,
That kind of weird.
yeah. Trying to think like, yeah, Howard Day, I believe we have ours in January.
We do too, for HRDC, any of them.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
ours, we do
they're always
our
in January.
officers at all of March.
Put January in there.
one. Because at the annual meeting, we review financials and audits and things like that. And I know that county is a different beast, but, we usually do our, you know,
We do that with our annual too, but you also set your chairs before you go into, you know, your reports like that.
yeah,
Then your
We
audit.
are on a fiscal year, so they should
Maybe you'd be,
pretty well run with the county on a fiscal year, because that's when all your stuff is getting ready to be due.
maybe do it in April.
So
That's the one.
if you
Budget.
did it on your fiscal year, you would be
July.
right. That way you have. It's the people before July would have created your budget,
mhm,
your money, and then July on, you would be implementing it. But that's, I mean, we're just on a fiscal year.
I mean,
Of course, I like calendar year, but
right. But I mean, I can see that making sense, you know, when it comes to doing the budget and everything. If we're to do it in, say, yeah, April or something like that, so that way we can get that in when we're going through budget season. The board has a chance to meet on that.
because the problem is if you change them in April, that only gives them, I don't know. You figure those officers doing it, it would do 2 months of, before you have to have that in your budget.
Mhm.
And so if you did it after, on the first of your fiscal year, then they would be implementing it all the way through, creating and then go.
Right.
Is that to July? So falls in line with our fiscal year budget? Or even August?
No, that would start, yeah, that would start at the fiscal year. But is this board gonna be doing the budgets? And maybe that's something that they just put on their agenda for like their March or April meeting.
But you would think that they have to have a big input in it.
Mhm.
And so that would be something, they would need a big input, so you did them in July, they would be following it, then they would be picking up and realizing what should be done the next year for your next budget, I don't know.
They're not a governing board, so they can't do the budget, but how they run is gonna be very heavily influenced.
They should have
Go
a,
forward with the budget.
right, I mean, that's the point of those boards, I mean, you should have a very big influence.
Okay.
But I would almost say August. The budget very rarely comes out exactly in July.
Yeah,
We always lag a little bit.
I mean, like Lexi says, that they have to have everything wrapped up and sealed and delivered by what, September?
August is right, and a good in between point.
Yeah, for the start of the fiscal year. And
Well, whatever we do, if it doesn't work out, they can amend it, change it.
yeah,
If they realize, oh, we don't want to do it at the very beginning of the year, we want to be more toward the end of the fiscal year. 2/3 vote, they could change it.
yeah. All right. I say August then,
Yeah, it's fine.
August.
August. Yeah, August. Third Tuesday in August. Okay. Got that. And we got page 3, we got the Hill County Council on Aging. Mhm.
On page 5, right?
Page 5. So a minimum of 3 business days notice shall be given of all regular business meetings. Yeah, that falls in line with public meetings and
So do you want the 3 or 2? But so many of the things now, we have our 48 hours.
right. I would say,
What were you saying?
Well, a lot of times we go with 48 hours, 2 days, and here this is 3. Do we want to be consistent with the 2 days? Or I,
minimum of 2 would make sense to meet the 48-hour criteria.
then that's part C there, the agenda, of each meeting shall be published in a newspaper, general circulation that serves Hill County and posted Sunday, page on the Hill County, Montana, website, 3 days. So again, the Haber Daily, Haber Weekly be eliminated. This will be the last one. I'm not sure April 1st is the day they should announce that it's not gonna be happening any longer.
Of all the days.
But I did confirm it with Jesse Mullins, who owns it, and he's transferring everything over to the Blaine County. But the Blaine County Journal is not published or printed or based out of Hill County. It's out of Blaine County, so by law, we don't necessarily have to use that. That's a whole other topic, but,
We
um,
do have a board though at the center that it can be posted on, correct?
but I do think the idea that I would hope that we would use the Blaine County Journal because they will be having like an 8-page basically insert into their paper on Haber in our area here in Hill County.
We need to put in here somewhere that's posted on site at our local council on aging. Information board that they have there. And then that covers at least more than one area if it doesn't. We get published.
And we can tuck that into subsection C on section 6. Yeah,
They,
posted.
at the
You can put it behind
center.
the website and information board.
Yeah. Okay. I will tuck that in there as well. It does, okay. So, page 6, section 8. Submitted to the advisory board secretary at least 7 days prior to the meeting. This rule may be suspended with the affirmative vote of a majority. I think that's fine. We want to leave that at least 7. It's got the language in there that allows them to change that if need be. Yeah,
I'm good with that.
keep. All right. Chris Mudd? I think that's something we can work with there. And we'll check with county attorney on that first part there.
I'm confused on the upper part too, when it's stating that you have to have a written agenda, shall accompany notifications to board members for regular scheduled meetings. However, D says failure to remind advisory members of a regularly scheduled meeting or failure to send a written agenda shall not affect the legality of the regular meeting. Well, if they're not getting notified according to our MPU statute, how can that not affect your regular? It doesn't make sense to me. It's contradictory. What it says up above.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 2. The very top, number B,
Okay.
and I was referring to B, the subsection B. Sub I. 1 and 2.
Okay. Okay, I see where you're at.
It states all of it up here,
Mhm.
but then it says it doesn't affect it there. It doesn't send it out anymore. Yeah, it's contradictory. Why would you do both of them?
Well, I'd say preparing for the. You would give them that, but if you don't, it's not gonna negate having a meeting.
You haven't given notification for all board members to be there. If that were to happen, then how can it not affect
If
them?
they have if they know it's the 3rd Tuesday of every month, they automatically know there's gonna be a board meeting. So if there's a scheduled board meeting. If she set a calendar for the year, so for the next 12 months, we're gonna meet the 3rd Tuesday of every month. We have a calendar, so if we don't remind them about the meeting, it's not gonna. Tell you to remind that we have a meeting. Not affect the legality of the regular meeting.
Okay. Note on that too. See. All right. I think the only thing we have left on that now is the resolution itself. And we have addressed that in the bylaws here. So funds appropriately for the Hill County Council on Aging, not from the Hill County General Fund. Strike that.
Oh, I don't need, on number 5 on there. Members shall be appointed by the board for staggered 3 years term. Appointments will be made by March 1st, and we want to change that to go coincide with that.
Where are you at?
On the
What page?
resolution,
on the
there's one
Resolution
Oh.
itself.
under number 5.
Were you saying number?
On number 5, says on there, that, the appointments will be made March 1st. And should we change that to July 1st when we have the yearly meeting? Annual meeting?
August?
Yeah,
Or
August.
August, okay.
Yep, no, I think that's a good point. Yeah, let's, because if the annual meeting is gonna be in August, then I think the board term should match up to that. So yes,
You're gonna hold off appointing anybody until August? Or are you appointing someone today and then redo
They've,
it?
the ones that we have already been appointed, but their terms will be up in August,
We've already appointed people to this board.
haven't we?
We haven't determined
done the
whether it's
interviews?
a board or not yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. August.
This is our resolution statement.
Okay, yeah.
But wouldn't you wanna appoint them now and then, I mean, don't take an extra 2 months of a term?
Yeah, that's the goal. Get them appointed now so we can get the board rolling. But their terms would be up instead of the March, it would be in August when they do their yearly meetings.
This, you're gonna appoint them this right now and then they'd be up in
August of 27, 28, and 29.
27.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about this August.
Well, when they started writing this, this was the, they expecting things to be done in March, so that, since we started down.
Oops, do I have someone's? Two of them here, sorry.
no,
Do we not have all board members on here, or is this just your name on? Here? The resolution should have all three. of
It's
us.
on the back. I just didn't, oh, I know, we're not changing anything.
Okay. And of course, the resolution is just changed. From now,
correct.
really is.
Yeah. All right. We'll make those changes and then just let you see those couple questions. Move forth. Any other questions, concerns, comments on that? All right, cool.
I do. Are you guys gonna ask Lacey your questions or?
We can, yeah, yep, I will. All right, review contract HC 26-221. For business, or for the business meeting on the 6th. So. This is an election system software, I wonder if,
Can't even see if she's free.
yeah. Just we have, nice to have some institutional knowledge. I think the biggest question on that,
Is it a want or is it
that's what
something
I'm,
that has to be implemented?
that's what I'm wondering. Hi, Alexa, thank you for coming back in. So looking at this contract, 26-221 that we have on the business meeting for Thursday. This is Election System and Software LLC, Hardware Maintenance Services Agreement. Okay. It looks, yeah. We have the total maintenance and everything. Can you kind of just give a brief, remind me again on this one?
It's just the maintenance that's required for updates for our DS 450s every year.
Okay, so we have the machine, the things that we need.
Yeah, we have two DS 450s. One of them is down, so they try to come do maintenance on it and they can get it to do it. So that's just the maintenance contract that we go under. I think it's every year.
It's just the maintenance contract?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
On the
How much-
DS
How much is that every year?
I think it's roughly $3,500.
correct, it is $3,595.
300?
$3,595. Yep, and it's due, coverage period from January 1 of 26 to December 31 of 26. So it's just a yearly thing. Okay,
And ESNS is the people that we use for certifications. There's not many people who can certify those machines.
Everybody in the state use, all counties use ES.
Yeah, it's ESS is a state, it's Montana based, it's a Montana statewide thing. They do a lot, they're out of Nebraska, they do a lot of certifications for different states, but I think we have the Secretary of State gave the contract to ESNS, so for our machines and stuff,
S and S, you said?
election systems and softwares.
Oh, and S. I'm okay with it going to our weekly business meeting.
Okay, yeah, no,
Is
yeah, we're good on that.
that what you're asking for? Is that it?
Yeah, it has to be signed. They've already done the maintenance.
So we'll get this signed and done at our business meeting. That worked. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Review needed changes for resolution 26-2827. Due to changes in the newspaper. So. That resolution by the Hill County Commissioners. Governed by shall establish.
An amended one? We need to amend it?
Oh, the problem is, Hill County Commission shall meet in regular session each day except Saturdays and legal holidays. That Thursdays at 2 p.m. is the scheduled meeting day, with posted agenda. The commission or the calendar for the commission is published in the local paper. So according to our resolution, it says we have to post it in the local paper. However, moving forward, we won't have a local paper. So in that case, with the changes to our paper, do we need to amend the resolution?
Say you would have to,
Okay,
just because you're not posting in a paper anymore.
right.
So like for us, just not having a paper thing kind of bites us, but, because you're required to post in 3 high populated areas, so like examples are the post office or grocery stores. But like that becomes hard when you start making a bunch of changes to agendas. Then that person has to go and drive to the post office, take that old one down, and post a new one, or drive to the wherever it's posted, if it's not within the courthouse.
Next triple dog in the shanty. Let's go.
So, like me, I'm gonna use, I have an elections page at the county website, and I have TextMyGov for elections. So those are my main publication spots. I also have an Instagram page that we just set up for publications. So we have ways to get it out. Whether you guys have ways to get it out is another story. And like my TextMyGov has 2,000 people who have already opted in for text messages. So
Yeah.
like that's a majority of our population.
But the Blaine County Journal was going to do something, so maybe you should wait till you see.
Yeah, Keith, when I talked to Keith, last week, Carrie and Keith, who own the Blaine County Journal.
Right.
They will plan on having an 8-page section, which is gonna be 5 or 6 pages more than we've been getting. I don't know how long it'll take them, but they do plan on having a specific section just for Havre. And the only way for them to really do it is to have it put into the paper, not have a separate one, so it's gonna be all wrapped together. You'll have the Blaine County Journal, and inside there will be a section for Havre, but they do plan on it. And he did say that, and he said, I need to tell you, he said, I hope you guys utilize us. It would be nice because they want to get the readership up, but also he said, since we are not located in Hill County, our office is not there. We don't publish or print it in Hill County. Legally, you're not required to by law, but he would strongly request that we do utilize it. And I think we will, it's, on things, but it's really not gonna be any different than calling or contacting them, through email to the Havre Weekly Chronicle now.
I'm pretty sure the Montana Code says that it must circulate through the county.
I was gonna just ask that. next.
Yeah, I have,
That was my
that's
next question.
Title 7/1/21/21, publication and context of notice of proof of publications. It says via the general circulation, be published at least once a week, be published in the county where the hearing or the other actions will be taken, and have prior to July 1 of each year that they have to submit to the clerk and recorder for documents that need to be recorded.
So that's what he was saying, is that we don't have to, but would
Yeah.
hope that we would.
So
What do you mean?
That he would hope that we would still utilize their paper, even
Oh.
though we're not required to by law.
But it doesn't circulate. Is he going to circulate it through Hill County, just like the other one did through all the other counties? That's. what
Yeah, oh yeah,
she's-
it all, yeah, there, I've
Pointed.
already, it's circulated here. There's people here now that get it.
It goes because he also covers you know, he has Big Sandy.
Right.
So it goes.
Oh, okay, so it circulates through this area.
Oh, I think we're lucky today. Kathy Vigalotti, are you listening?
Yes,
I know this affects you as well in your department. Have you guys had any conversations on how to combat this?
I haven't had a chance to talk to the judge yet, but I think in her name change order, she could order it in the Blaine County Journal.
Okay, because I
public.
know you,
Or they can
Your
do
office-
it, the 3 public places. They could post their name, if they needed to.
sure. Because yeah, I know your department posts a lot in the newspaper as well for the things you have to do required by law. So I was just wondering if, you guys have thought about that and kind of
It's-
see.
Yeah, it's not really my office. It's the people that are needing to publish. And then there's youth in need of care cases. That's the Attorney General's office. And I suppose I should probably contact them and let them know that there's no longer going to be that option.
Sure. Well,
Yeah, because with those types of cases, do they have to be published within that county of where that case pertains? 'Cause those can be published outside of that county, correct?
Well, sometimes it's where they think the parents reside. It
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
so, I mean, I guess the 12th Judicial covers both Shoto and Liberty County as well. I
Correct.
suppose it would be fine to post in their newspapers for your guys' stuff since that covers that district, maybe?
Yeah, and I don't know what Liberty County is doing now either. I think they were doing the same thing we were, so they're 12th Judicial District as well.
Okay, yep. Okay, well, no, I'd like to, be in contact with you on this if we can, just so that and I think with the judge's stuff and then our stuff, have a uniform place for all those things, so that it's,
What about the news media broadcasting? I mean, it seems like they put stuff online.
Highline Today.
I mean, they're still radio, but they seem to post things out online.
They
Is
do-
that,
They're not, I don't think they're considered a newspaper. Because they didn't file any circulation stuff. So like how Daily News was required to file circulation paperwork with the county to be able to circulate paper and stuff. That's what made them qualified for us to post our stuff in there. The
Yeah,
other than
they're-
Montana and State. So, but Iowa Daily did not, or New Media Broadcast doesn't do that. So they're just a radio station.
Yeah, that would take a change in the law.
Fun stuff. Okay, well, we'll just keep on trying to figure this out as we go along and just try to do what's right and get the information out to the members of Hill County and try to do best by that. All right. And once we get that information, then we can make that amendment to the resolution and put that in there, I suppose. So,
So for now, just boards and website.
yep. The Foyer's website. I mean, I guess I can put them up and down the High Line in the post offices. I don't know what else.
You guys make a lot of changes. So.
Yeah, let's just put them up where we're doing it now on our 3.
Is Facebook, creating a Facebook page an option?
Yeah, you said you utilize Instagram in your office.
Instagram and Facebook.
Does that seem to have pretty good following or?
My Instagram is like a week old, so I wouldn't, my Facebook page though has more recently been getting people. It is a slow process, but yeah.
Kim has it.
Kim, are you still on there?
Yeah, I am.
Do you find that, the social media is a good traffic area for like what you would do in your department?
Yeah, I think it is. Our Facebook page has over 5,000 followers on it. That's probably one of our quickest ways to get information out. We do that. We have our website. I believe we have Instagram. I don't use it as often because it's not as user friendly for me. Probably because I'm old. I don't know, but but our Facebook, yeah, people know to go there when they want information. So if something happens, we get a pretty big uptick of likes and shares from that page. So
Okay, okay. Well, let's, I don't know, how does this board feel about creating a commission Facebook page so we can get that out?
Who's gonna manage it?
Being the millennial I am, I can do that.
When you're gone, who's gonna do it?
Uh,
I don't do.
we
Facebook.
can
I'm
have-
not gonna manage it.
What we can do is we can put it on our work phones and we can have access to all of us would be admins on that. And so, if we need to add something, we can do that from our work
Well,
phones.
let's
I don't
maybe
think
think
it's a
about
good
it,
idea.
talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. I know other counties have talked about that at our Mako things and they don't talk too strongly about it because it opens up a whole lot of can of worms. So I don't know. I just think it needs more
Okay,
thought.
yeah, let's have some more discussion on it. So yeah, right now let's utilize what we're doing and then we'll adjust.
Does it say, Lexi, you just had that up. Did it say it has to be posted 3 places or 2? 3.
So we eliminated Blaine County Journal then?
No, Lane County Journal is in play.
Check with Lacey on that one, because we were talking about that the other night, and I don't know if that can be 1 or 3 since it's not here,
Okay,
so just check with her.
we'll check. Yeah. Good. Next up, we have Costa requesting, permission for pinwheels. That's something that we do every year. I think it's really cool. I love the pinwheels. They really brighten up the campus, so I have no issues with, pinwheels.
Did they give us a letter of request or asking or?
They left a message with somebody last week. I don't know who took the message down. Just said to call back if it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've done this every year that I can remember, so,
I think it's a good idea.
who's in charge of that now? Is it still Shemaine?
That's who it says call back.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can call Shemaine, or if you want to, don't have.
Yeah, I got her. Right.
Okay, perfect, yeah, tell her it's a go. Smoking area outside, needs to be discussed. I know Daryl brought up, some information on that. And what is the law on that? I think it's like 30
We
feet. or
should
something.
leave a copy. We had it, state law. Leave it 30 feet away from the building. Can't be enclosed.
Okay,
If you have a designated area, it cannot be enclosed. Other than that, he's just wanting to move it or doesn't want it around for some reason. He wasn't really, I didn't think he gave very strong points on it.
did
But he
he,
wants a policy.
He said he's been getting complaints.
okay. Did he mention anything, during his, meeting last session? On it?
That's what he said about it.
Okay,
I have a
Maybe it's already-
recommendation if you guys want it. You can
oh,
reach
yeah,
out
sounds
to
right.
you can reach out to Jay Shusky. He's our Montana Tobacco Use Prevention Coordinator for Hill County, and he is on our agenda for the Board of Health meeting on Wednesday. So if you want, you can reach out to him and see if he would bring you any information on the Clean Indoor Air Act and any restrictions that apply to government buildings.
Perfect, I think
Yeah.
that's a brilliant idea.
And Daryl gave that to us. Well, he didn't give it to us. He handed it out to us, but we should have taken copies. Submitted all that information to us.
You know, also, you have to remember, it's just not your couple employees, you have to remember the whole public. And no matter what, they're gonna smoke. So don't take away all your ashtrays, all your everything. Because they will.
No, understandable. This is just something that was brought up, but just, doing the due diligence. Is Jay still located over at the Boys and Girls Club? Do you know, Kim?
Yeah, he is.
All right, I'll touch base with him and then see if he can bring some stuff to our meeting on Wednesday. All right, next up, add COA 5 computers to contract. I know all three of us have had an opportunity to work on those computers over there, and they're dinosaurs.
Well, and this was a while ago, remember when I had brought it forward, reaching out to DIS, and I think Heather had brought forward too, more than once. So, DIS had reached out again about the service ticket that they had placed. When I originally brought it up a month and a half ago, it's been a while. Might have been into January. So he's just wanting a response of whether to move forward with this or not. The computers, however, all the computers aren't being utilized over there now.
I don't think you need
So-
5. You need 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
wondering.
was thinking 3, but
Your cook has one and,
Well, yeah, that would be
well, I
3.
assume.
Well, actually, it's,
You
I don't know what you guys are doing. I only know what I had to do over there, and I was working on 3 different computers.
But it could all be
Information.
utilized and put into one.
And then Lori had hers, so that would have made it 4. No one
So
could get
you-
into Marcy's.
I was thinking 3 computers total.
Because the one person putting in your,
Capstone.
yeah, you need one, they're putting in your capstone, you're doing your order, you're trying to do, it can all be on one machine. And then I assume that I don't know.
So I can forward this email to you, Bill, Jake,
Sure.
either one, both.
Then it both of us.
And there's a number here to contact them because they're waiting for a response.
Okay.
And it got dropped for a while. And then you guys can let them know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get that squared away with DIS and get that rolling.
Buying ad, whatever you can do.
Right.
Marcy's might be a newer computer, but,
It's not.
oh, it's not. You were able to get into it?
A long time ago, I was able to look at them. Last year when we first started talking about, it, I went over there and got a picture of all of them.
Oh, okay.
They're all pretty much the same. They look like they're all purchased at the same time. They're not, but they're all the same type of.
Okay.
Well, you don't have a lot of funds, so I'd probably hit the 2 mark.
Well, that too, we need to go back to funding on that. We are in the hole of 34,000. I think that's something that people keep forgetting, the fact that just because we're open, we're not bringing in enough
Right.
every month to get us out of that hole. At this rate, I don't know if we'd ever come out of it.
So that was couldn't come out of the same computer budgets for the rest of the county? Got it?
Our COA's computers different than the computer budget.
No, me, I never can take out a computer budget. I'm not allowed, but you can pull your DIS contract out of there, yeah. DIS is paid, so you might as well add your 2 computers onto your maintenance program with them. Now, if you purchase new, but are you gonna purchase new?
Well, we're still weighing options, but
Oh,
I think
okay.
we do need to look at it. But I'd say news on the table, but
But they're, a new one's not. They're only, don't know, I mean, I just bought a laptop for my house for $300 and some bucks.
know.
But yeah, you can add them, you would add them to your GIS contract, your service contract. So you just got it up to that and that does pull out of that.
I think we need to take a deep look too, because didn't we approve Heather to do that same exact thing? How many months back? And it was taken out of DIS, but yet she ordered monitors, desks, everything else, but so are we double?
Right.
Are we trying to go in and spend for the same exact thing we've already gave for approval to use before? I mean, we need to kind of look at that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you could sell them desks and them big old monitors. You didn't need them. You
Well,
could
Bill
sell
put-
them to a new company or. a
Bill
new-
put two of them up already, so we can't sell them now. Already been used now.
Well, all right.
Yeah, we'll get a hold of DIS and we'll hash that out. Estimate from Bickford Refrigeration for COA indoor freezer. What you got there, Commissioner Williams?
Okay, so when I first was interim over there in January, we had an issue with the freezing of the ice in the back of the
Oh, on that
walk-in
back one.
freezer,
Yeah.
the indoor one. And so Coulter came over, said he'd give us an estimate. He did, it's for $6,208.50. Part that keeps freezing up, you can't get them any longer.
Hmm.
He said there is no more fixing that. He would have to go in and do set up the system a little differently so it could function, so it quit freezing up along the back there where it's leaking. And so here I do have an estimate. I can get to you guys. I don't know if that's something we all want to decide on moving forward. It's basically just going in, retaking out that drain, installing, I don't know exactly how he's gonna do it. Installing a different part. So it's freezing up there and leaking. That's what. It's been an issue for over a day. I can give you copies of it. It's been issues for
Freezer.
very, very long time.
Oh.
Thought we had it fixed, but
Dishwasher.
I just wanted to pass that estimate on to you guys.
Yeah,
But where we're seeing budgetary, $6,000 for one.
it's huge.
Can't really have the freezers going down either.
No. Thank you.
Folder, there's these numbers. Said just get a hold. We just. Good news, but
No, I mean, we gotta,
we got an estimate. He
Like-
said the estimate, he would honor the estimate for a little while longer, but if it goes out too much further, then.
When did you last talk to him?
I just talked to him last week. So, because I asked him if his estimate would still be honored, he said yes at this time. For a little while longer, he said, but as everything. Costs go up,
right,
parts, all that stuff.
yeah.
He said he didn't know how much longer that would
Alrighty,
held at that point.
Dr. Coulter.
I told him, thank you, I appreciated him calling me back.
All right. Brett. Bill County policy review. Thank you. Sorry it's taking this long, but
Here shortly. I just wanted to ask if you guys have had time to review it.
Not the entire thing, but I have.
I've been reading it. I just, yeah, get interrupted, but I like what I see so far. I think it's well thought out and obviously you guys put a lot of time and effort into it.
Working on it continuously.
Yeah,
But actually, at the same time, it's one of those things that when you're looking at it all the time, you may read things to it that aren't there.
And I will mention that due to the Havre Daily News going out of business, I'm going to have to edit the job vacancy part in this policy because it does reference to the
Right.
Havre Daily News.
Yep. Yep.
So that is the only thing I'm gonna have to edit as of right now, unless you guys have other things that you see. That's part of the reason why we're gonna have this on the working session, just so we can
Right,
review it.
just keep on going
So
through.
is there any way, I mean, we used to do this when we were reviewing, is we sent it out to the rest of us? Or is that not? gonna
No,
happen?
you-
We
all
will
of the
never
department
have
heads will
a-
receive it once they approve it as a commission.
But before it's up,
It used to get sent out before
we've had,
for people to check.
Not everybody,
yeah,
so everybody's gonna have a say in that.
Well, see,
I
that,
mean, it's been on the agenda, so everybody that knows that it's on the agenda, I guess, if they're interested, then they can.
well, this is the first time it's been on
Right.
this agenda. But second, I did read through it. You had sent it out weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. I sat down, and read it.
Yep, the 17th.
There was one nice thing in there. I guess my question was, are you just wanting us, this is something we do every year, is where the chair signs off and then we bring those policies forward for review in our county official meetings. Is that what you're wanting? Are you wanting us to go through and then bring everything forward to you now before we approve it again?
Basically,
You want us to go through and do that?
I don't know how else, what's the easiest way do you think? that
Well,
we
the
can-
idea is to get it put out there,
I mean, everybody-
like, this is kind of like the base, this
That's
is
what
like,
I'm wondering.
this is like ground zero. okay?
Right,
We look at it, if there's things to be changed now, it'd be the time to do it, and then, but there's always things that are gonna be looking at being changed. I mean, there's stuff that is, there's stuff in there that's all, 20 years old, and
well, some of them haven't been reviewed, there are
So
some
that's
with
what I'm asking.
updated dates on it.
So are you wanting this to just, to basically for the commission to pass it as is, so it gets out to all of our employees and then we start reviewing our policies in our county official meetings again of
I can,
like what Bill's saying, anything that needs to be revised or brought up or reviewed? Because we should be
Right.
doing that anyways.
yeah,
They should at least be looked at.
yep, I will double check with Lacey on that. I just know she wanted it to be on your agenda, just so you guys can get your eyes on it, and if you see anything, that we need to discuss.
and yeah, we did all get it for a review first because, we came over here, Cam and I came over on every one of them, and then when we reviewed them,
Yeah,
you know,
did get
we all
used to
got it
get sent
before it
out,
was.
but I know it's a big, huge undertaking right now for you, because you went in and retyped a lot of it.
I just don't wanna have to send it out to everyone if it's not final, you know what I mean? Because then I'll just have to do it again, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know the easiest way, I guess.
so to me, that's why I was asking, do you want us just to approve the version that you're sending out?
Yeah, and I will.
And then from that point, then we do start
Well-
reviewing and looking at whatever policies in our county official meeting, and then that's where they go under review, revised, or.
when we get this
Do
put
we
out
know
there.
why we stopped doing that in the county officials meetings, or why haven't we?
I was the only one bringing them forward, and then.
I think-
I just didn't for a while, and then it just seemed like nobody did it again. So we can get in the habit of bringing one forward again, or a couple every county officials, because we were going through quite a few of them when we were doing that.
Yeah, last year we did that. Quite a bit.
It was going pretty good.
All right, once we put our final touches on it, I think that's a good idea to just review a couple each month. And then that way,
And also people have suggestions, they can bring them forward,
They all
even if it's not,
have
even
it.
if it's not on a regular schedule
right,
time period.
Well, and everyone knows, I think it's common knowledge for our county officials, meetings when they come, if we have a policy, they all get input on it, and a lot of times they do put input, so it does make a difference. I think it's a lot for us to all go through and revise it all of a sudden. We need to okay it and then
but I
get it
think
out to our whole.
once now that, we've gotten all of them looked at, updated, I think, moving forward with the future, I think it's gonna be a lot better than looking back and be like, oh, that hasn't been done.
And maybe some of them don't, I mean, maybe they all don't need to be updated. I don't know. There are probably some that will not change, but again, there are gonna be some that will.
At least they've been revised and looked at, so that can
Right.
make that determination as county officials.
And I think going forward, we're gonna have one that we can say, this is the version that we have as of.
Right, I think that's kind of where we want to say, this is Because
version.
there's different versions out there, and we
There
found
are.
that out
We don't
last year.
those.
So that's kind of what
Is
my
there a
question
way
was,
to-
is that were you wanting us to approve your version that you want sent out to all the employees and then.
And is there a
from
way
there
to
we'll review?
Put like, once it's approved, well, I know you have the revision dates on there, put like approved by the commissioners on every page. Maybe make that part of the header or the footer or
It does in the front page.
No, I'm talking about on every page in there, because that's the part of the problem we have is, you know, you get a page here or there and you think, well, this is the correct one and this is the most recent one, and come to find out it's not. Whereas if everyone is listed in there somehow on every page, then we know that this one is the most recent.
Well,
this
when
one
it
that I
does
just
state
sent you
revised.
guys,
Yeah,
That is the most recent
Right,
one.
what I'm
There
saying,
are
though.
dates that reflect.
right. And those dates on there, they go back to 2008, 2009.
Both haven't been revised, but the ones that are revised or changed, they go through a weekly business meeting through the commissioners to okay those revisions.
Oh, I understand that part, but what I'm saying is,
When it's marked revised at the bottom of that policy,
Like,
That's
for
basically
example,
saying yes.
inclement weather,
went through the
that one
commissioners.
still shows a date of October 1st of 2008, because that one hasn't changed, and I don't know that it will.
so. Right, but say use of county premises and property, okay, page 53, revised March 14th, 2019. How do I know that that is the most recent one? Unless it states it on that page. That way, like next to the page number off to the left on there, approved by the county commission on X date, 2026. Then you know that that specific one, even though it has been revised since 2019, that is the most recent approved one.
And that's what it would say. That's why these
On
are
every
all
page,
stated on every single page.
it would say approved by the county
We
commission.
don't
Well, it
need to
doesn't
do
say
that
that.
though. It goes through a business meeting when it's been revised or changed. That's what we're stating.
Right,
When it marks that at the bottom saying revised, it's went
It
through a
was-
so
business
I get
meeting to
I
get
get
there.
a page that says use of county premises and property. I wonder if this is our most recent copy. It's been, it's been, 27 years or whatever, or 19 years, 7 years since it's been looked at. So is that the most recent one?
Yeah,
If you don't have the whole thing together.
So I guess what I'm hearing, oh, go ahead, Kim.
Oh, sorry. I'm totally have a random thought, and it kind of goes with what Bill is saying for our pathways to recognition, which is kind of accreditation. I will have to submit some HR policies, and they have to be dated within the last 5 years as being either reviewed or revised and approved. So if they're older than 5 years, that won't work for us. So I don't know if anybody else would run into that with county policies. If it's just been in place for 20 years and nothing's changed, I understand that. But if you put eyes on it, you could at least say reviewed on this day.
correct.
But
That's
isn't
what we
that
were
the
doing.
first pages for them?
Right.
When you sign off on it, you're approving the entire policy, right?
Right, for the whole thing, but if you have this book of, 100 pages plus, and you only have one copy, say, or one page, you're only looking at one page, how do you know that that's the one without going to the whole thing? That's
I
my-
believe at the bottom of it, if you look, it does state the dates of when they went into effect, or if they've been reviewed, or they've been
Yeah.
revised. It states it on there.
There are dates at every page.
And if they're reviewed or
I
revised,
guess I'm not.
it goes
very
through the
good
county
way to
commissioner's
explain
business
it.
meeting.
understand what you mean.
So would it make sense, since you did all the heavy lifting on this and you went through and revised all these and looked them over and, that is the final document moving forward.
The one I
So at the
sent,
bottom,
Just you guys.
Yep.
Yes.
yep. So at the bottom of it, revised 2026
And that's the true date.
And
On
then
every page.
on every
Revised.
page.
Yes.
But they're not. You don't want to do that. If
Not
you're trying to
revised.
say every single page
No, not
is
revised,
revised,
but
because
reviewed.
some of them haven't been since
Right.
2008.
Yes.
Updated on, updated 2026.
Recently
It's
approved.
viewed on this day.
Lacey had me put revised on the ones that were revised.
Right, and that makes sense. When
The
you,
other ones that were not looked at say effective
Yes,
October 1st, 2008.
that's when they went into effect.
Yes.
Through the
And they
county
have been
commission.
since. We just haven't reviewed them, or I don't know maybe we don't need to. It just
Because-
depends.
Bill, no policy can be changed unless it goes through the county commissioners.
Yeah.
Right, but we also have multiple, we have the same policies out there in different forms that are not the same, and everybody thinks what they have is the most recent, and that's the one that we go by.
That's why we have this one on your agenda and we're trying to get it approved.
And so my thing is, if you find a page, oh, this was the one that was approved, you know, April 2nd or April whatever, 2026.
So that'll be that version.
Okay. We'll get that done up for you and sent out so we can get that
Well,
going.
we just need to keep looking at it.
I haven't seen anything that jumps out at me, so. Thank you, Britt. I appreciate your time and hard work on this. Next up, commissioners provide update regarding COA. We did our, commodities list with, Tina on Friday. All looks good there. We should be getting our shipment in here fairly soon. I went back and looked, we do have quite a few, Walmart bags, so it looks like they're restocking those. I don't know who makes those, but they do a phenomenal job with it, so. Other than that, anything to add, Bill?
Nope.
Everything's breaking. Our freezers are breaking, our dishwashers and our coffee pots.
There's been no other news in the commodity area.
We've got our commodity stuff in, and then, they're having some hard time like getting, what was it, the rigatoni, spaghetti noodles. Some of the stuff from the Department of Ag, they're having a tough time getting into the warehouse, so, we'll have to
We
supplement.
did get the coffee pot went down last week. Money got raised, to purchase a 30 cup one. And now, as of, earlier today, there was another, person for the center that has purchased a 100 cup coffee pot. So Doug will have coffee all the time. It should be in the mail. It's supposed to get delivered to her tomorrow, but depending upon what it is, but should have it down at center by Wednesday.
What is that?
Who bought it?
Yeah, today,
Um,
the 100 cup one. Did you say 100 cup?
yeah, I forgot the name. It's written down at the desk, but
So someone outside of the money that was donated on Friday?
yeah.
Yeah,
I was pretty impressed. That was pretty short order.
that was cool. They all went around with a hat and,
So what'll
Raise enough
happen,
money.
then we'll have a backup for if the one goes down, or if it's a smaller group, they don't need the whole thing.
Was it the traditional, the one like the last one?
big one.
The one that, yeah, they got Friday was, a miniature one. It looks miniature compared to those.
Right, that one was huge. But no, thank you to those volunteers and people that donated to that, so we could still have coffee. That really embodies the community of Havre and Hill
So
counties.
I hate to run, but I gotta go check the center, make sure it's locked before I go to my doctor's appointment.
Any changes with volunteers over at the Council on Aging?
Yes, we are looking for more volunteers.
Always need more volunteers.
I can, something maybe.
Yes, sir.
Judy and, Joanne are working pretty hard getting the volunteers organized.
Yep.
And, I think they're doing a pretty good job.
Oh, without a doubt.
And, the only thing when I talked to Judy last week, I guess it was, about the board. And, Bill and some of the others have contacted the people that have applied. But I just wondered, I'm like, Judy, I said, I think we need to set a deadline on when we're gonna pick this board, because we've had a couple people call in wondering, what's the situation.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you, the commissioners, should decide that, or,
Yep.
but I think we need to move along with that process.
Definitely. And, Judy made a really good point at our Thursday
Yeah.
meeting on that. And, after that meeting, we did reach out to those, people that had applied and let them know
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now about the dishwasher, the Hobart guy was there, about 10 days ago?
Yeah.
But he showed him how to run it manually.
Yep.
And I guess, so it isn't totally.
Right.
I haven't been back to talk to the people in the kitchen lately, but it is functioning somewhat.
Yeah.
And, so, and oh, the other thing I was just gonna mention was between the commissioners and Sandy, I'm glad you're really working on our budget and trying to, you know, figure out where we can, make it, at least break even.
Right.
So I guess we're hoping and you're hoping tomorrow that we can make that happen. But, anyway, I guess our kitchen, we're down person. It seemed like anymore in today's world, nobody gives a 2-week notice anymore. But anyway, and even Judy here a week ago was telling me there was a problem there. So, I haven't tried to stick my nose in to do anything down there, but I think Judy and Joanne liked have been here today, but they're Joanne's working still, but anyway, so that was my only, thing. I did donate some money to get their, breathing coffee, but
Thank
I don't
you.
know if we need a 100 coffee, but I don't know if you're gonna be wasting coffee by, I know you don't have, even though it's for 100, you don't have to make it for 100,
Right.
but even if we had a 50, we got a 30, which that probably won't last the whole day, but
Right.
last, quite a while.
Yep.
But, Miss Sally, I'm glad to see Jake, you were there helping in the kitchen and
Yep.
serving. So that was nice. And I know Bill has been there almost every morning. And we've got Bonita kind of helping get out the paperwork issues and what computer issues. So we're really fortunate to have the volunteers there.
Oh, without a doubt.
Enough to do more than, what's really required.
They're the unsung heroes. I mean, yeah, we sit here and talk about it on camera, but they're the ones behind the scenes making sure that place is
Yeah,
going, and
well, I
without
told
them.
And this morning, and I said we should get a list of the volunteers that are there working on. At least give it to you guys, you get.
Oh, we've already got,
record.
yep, we got them, and because we have to input that, and I got the thank you cards, all ready to go. So, yep,
Yeah.
we're very fortunate to have the volunteers that we
I
do.
feel we are, and Larry, Larry Larson, he's done, I don't wanna keep it too much longer, but he's, he donated actually 3 coffee tables and a floor lamp. And, now the sofa and the love seat were donated by him about 5 years ago after his mother passed away.
Sure.
And it's a Charles custom sofa, which are pretty expensive, but it'll probably last forever.
Sure.
So anyway, also he takes care of watering. He does water the plants 2 or 3 times a week. That was kind of Val's favorite project.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, and last fall, 6 months ago or so, he replaced some, lights in the hallway back by the kitchen. He did that on his own.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some people that are doing a lot of volunteer work, but they're not actually officially volunteers.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, it's nice that those people have stepped up in our situation that we have now.
For sure. For sure.
So anyway,
We'll get through it and we'll get back on track, and, I foresee good things with the program. So,
right,
thank you, Doug.
okay.
Uh,
Nice to get a few more people for the meals. That's our main income producer.
why, man, if people knew how good those meals were down there, that place would be packed every day.
Yeah,
Were you there? They served pork loin with the gravy, homemade gravy and mashed potatoes?
I just kind of
Oh.
missed a lot of meals lately, but
Sure.
I just, with my health issues and whatnot, sometimes I feel like eating a big meal, sometimes I don't.
Sure. No, if people knew how good those meals were down there,
Yeah,
they'd come running. So, thank you, Doug.
okay.
All right, Great West items for discussion. Do we have anything on that?
This task order,
Okay, which one?
we talked about this for, a lot. Because that money is gone, everything is gone for all of that, and if we still got a lot left on that levy, but like we've said many times, those people cannot afford it.
Right.
Now, this was at one time, we looked at this, but we couldn't do it at that point because of the amount, we didn't really know the amount we needed to go out. We now are far enough, they figure, and they want to look, so that we can expand that district, because those few people out there cannot afford what's.
Right.
So if we expand that, then we can get more, so we can get this done.
Okay.
And that was what was talked about. And that's what Jonathan, him and Jeremiah were writing that so that we could work and get money on that district.
Sure. That make it more inclusive to all the different residents out there. Is that what you're
Well,
talking?
yeah, because it's such of a tiny little district and they can't afford them millions left that we have to put into that.
Right, right.
But we had to get it figured out. Now they've done a lot with that.
Mhm.
There is no more, there's no more of that money left.
Right.
So we just got a very small amount in that. So if we go and make that a little bit bigger so that we can afford to finish. They were gonna look, and I even remember Jonathan had told us that a while ago. After they came through with that inspection you did,
Mhm.
to see what was left, how much really was
Right, right.
there. Because I mean, there is a lot left,
Mhm.
but we have to get more money, and that is the reason that amendment came through.
Okay.
Is we had talked about it many times.
So is this something we need to bring towards the business meeting? Cause it's already dated by Jeremiah. For this going forward with this creation of this RSID, and I know you must remember it because we
Mhm.
talked about it all the way back in 2021.
Yep, yep. It's been on.
Not new. And we knew we were gonna be eventually having to go forward with this.
Right.
City's involved.
And when we were at Mako, we talked about it with him.
Mhm.
You and I talked about it when we were all standing there, how the money's gone.
Yeah.
And, so we have to get that bigger. So yeah, because I don't know if we would even make it by, we even made it by this year, it wouldn't come into way into the following year when we.
Right, right.
And the city, I believe, will be willing to, they were before willing to work
Mhm.
with us, but we didn't know exactly how much.
Yeah, and now we have a better idea, but I think,
It states it right.
yeah, I think it's like a puzzle. We got the pieces, but now we gotta put it together and figure out how that's gonna look moving forward. I think it is worth a conversation with, Mr. Weaver and those guys and. Yeah,
So
I think we had conversation. I think we need to move forward on it. Cause this is the next stage in what we can do with the levy.
right,
Without this in place, we can't move forward.
right, right. I guess, what does that look like on a timeline? Like you say, it's gonna
we
be,
would have to move, in order to go, I mean, we have to be faster than not.
Mhm.
Because if it had to go out, it will never hit this year's tax. But we have to get it done in order to expand, because a little bit, I mean, we have some in that district right now, but we also have to keep enough for maintenance.
right, right.
And then we can Yes, we have to move faster than not. Cause you have to have it in by, around that.
Well, yeah,
Is this something we want to move to the business meeting?
take it out, but
It's not today. And then Bill wasn't really sure on it. He didn't understand it.
right,
Kind of gave a brief explanation, but then Jeremiah, or was it Jonathan? Remember, reached in and Jonathan, he really explained it. Broke it down for,
right, yeah, it was Jonathan.
Right, cause we're not gonna be able to keep. Moving forward.
Right. Okay,
This is the one that we talked to Jonathan on the phone the other day.
yeah,
And you said to hold it.
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
told him to hold it?
well, he advised that we hold it.
How long?
He didn't say,
He
but,
said Sandy called and ordered it. Phil and Jake did not know anything about it, and they said, please hold off until we are more informed.
Oh, that's why to hold it?
Mhm. Okay. Let's give Jonathan a call this week.
Okay.
See where we need to go. All right. Upcoming business meeting agendas.
Oh, yeah, I think. Thank you for your time and your hard work. All right.
Hey, Riley, we're going through our, upcoming business meeting agendas. Do we have any, plats or anything on the forefront that you know of? Okey dokey. Cool. I just didn't want to miss nothing, so, yeah, if you get anything in, let us know. Awesome. Thank you, Riley. We'll surveys or plats coming down the pike that they know of. There again. Yeah. All right. Now we have, board applications. Looks to here, we have a, Jay Eagleman. Jonathan Eagleman. Okay,
You also just received another one while we were in our meeting.
okay,
Board.
for the park board?
Mhm.
Okay, we're gonna have to set up, interviews for that.
The park board?
Yeah, since we have more than the two
Okay.
that are on there, so.
Okay.
I think this, Mr. Eagleman for the historical preservation, this guy looks way overqualified.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's awesome.
I'm impressed, like, how would we not want to put this
Did he
guy?
just come forward on his own or did someone reach out to him and ask him on that board?
Not sure,
Which board is it for?
the,
Museum.
museum board, yeah,
I
thank you.
believe Bill reached out.
Oh, did he?
I think
Oh.
so. He said he reached out to somebody for the historical board.
Okay,
And Eleanor Yellow Robe also.
yes. Okay, and we have, how many? Okay,
For which one?
the museum board?
Is that the historic preservation?
Yeah, yeah. You have two?
They two different ones?
This one's historical preservation, oh wait, as you were, my bad. Former historical preservation officer for the Chippewa Creek tribe.
Yes.
So,
I know who he is, but is he for the museum board or is he for what board? Is he applying to?
yeah. Mm. So this one, Eleanor Yellow Robe, they wish to serve on the historical preservation board.
So both of those top two ones are for the historic board?
That
For
one-
the museum or for the, for historical, because it doesn't state on this one. Does it state on that one?
It does. This one's the historical preservation board. She states on there. But that one, I don't see where, you want to do both?
Do we have positions open on both of them?
I believe, right, I should too.
I show you a few for the historic preservation.
Okay,
Oh, we have two historical preservation commission. No museum.
It used to be Linda Taplin and Debbie Vanderberg for the county. One was up in 23, one was up in 24.
okay.
So according to what I see, it looks like two openings for.
For the historical preservation and this, I mean, I would assume, and I don't want to assume, but if I were to assume that this, Jonathan Eagleman, since he has already worked on the a former historical preservation officer for the Chippewa Creek tribe, I would assume that he would want that position.
I can reach out to him afterward,
Yeah, I don't know if you,
just get clarification on what board he might want to send.
either way, I think we definitely need to appoint him. Like, this is awesome.
That is the case, then. Those, we wouldn't need to do interviews for both of those positions.
Yeah, that's a first come, first served,
What is his number?
406. Oh, wait. Yes.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, this is Sherry Williams, Hill County Commissioner. How are you today? Good. Say, we are looking at board applications, one that you submitted. We were unsure though, if you are applying for the Historical Preservation Commission. Yep, we have your wife's. It's stated on hers, but we wanted to just get clarification on yours. Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm gonna put you down for that, and I appreciate you taking my phone call. And we'll review your application and let you know. You're welcome. Have a good day, Jonathan. Bye-bye. Yes, and yes. Yes, it was for the Historic Preservation Commission, and that is, yes, what he wants to do.
Okay. You're good? I'm good. I think appointing both Eleanor and Jonathan to that board, I think that would be a huge addition. And would make that historical preservation board a lot stronger.
Yeah, so, Tiffany, would you be able to write up letters of appointment for our weekly business meeting for those two? Those would be good. It'd be beneficial.
Right. Next up, we have, Jim Duval. Mr. Duval is awesome. He just wants to serve. And he even states in here, I'd be willing to serve on any of the open board positions. He's a retired railroader, local football referee. Him and I have had some words.
Oh,
No, actually, they've always been good. He just, no, Mr. Duval, I think he would be an asset on just about any board we have. He likes to keep busy. I don't think he's more of a, sit in a comfy chair and sign paperwork kind of guy. I think he likes to be, involved.
so last week when he was in the business meeting, he was talking about sitting on, he sat on the BNSF,
Mhm.
kind of like a compensation board.
Yep,
And I stated then, I said, well, that might be a board you might be interested in being on it, but you do have knowledge in how that works, the
Yeah.
budgets and stuff. So that's the one he said he was leaning more toward.
okay. I'm good with, putting him on the, compensation board.
And we have one more position or one more spot to fill on that board, and then we'll have the board
Perfect.
full.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good with compensation board. He seemed to take interest in that. So,
Yeah, he did say something after the meeting too about it. So go ahead and
Yep.
Tiffany, would you write up an appointment letter for him also for this weekly business meeting?
-30-426. I'll have to look at terms and whatnot.
The rest we need to put up interviews for the park board.
Yes, Lou, Elgin and Jeff, and plus the one that you stated came in today. Those are all park board. So,
You wanted, job duties for the park board.
Oh.
The gentleman that dropped the one off today. Do you
Okay.
have that? I tried to call the park and they didn't answer.
okay, I can look. I might have something on my computer.
We're just supposed to call him back after the meeting.
Sure. Okay, perfect. So yeah, let's look at dates and I can help you with that, Tiff, if we want to tag team and call these folks, see what works for interviews.
And can you please get me involved? I
Yeah.
do have family members that have a few doctor's appointments, so I just
Sure.
wanna make sure that we're all
Definitely. And if I recall,
agreeance on it.
we do have a set list of questions.
Yep, I have those.
okay. So we'll look at dates and I'll definitely keep you in.
I think I have the last one even,
Oh, the one.
when we did those interviews. Question.
Sure. It wasn't that long ago, if I recall.
Mhm.
So, well, good.
But yes, please keep me, reach out to me and ask me to if the dates and times work.
Perfect.
Do you want to get those dates so I know what they are to not schedule interviews?
Well, I don't know, this afternoon I have another one I have to get to you here shortly. I have no idea at this point. I don't put out a list there. Why don't you just keep me involved in the dates and the times that you guys are possibly looking at for interviews, please.
We'll call the candidates and go from there. All right. Yeah. This was an endurance run. Public comments on non-agenda items.
This
Public
is
comments-
Kim.
Oh,
Sorry, I was fast.
no.
Have you guys decided yet on the increase for insurance? Who, if it's county or employee, who will take that on? I just hadn't heard anything.
County.
I thought we wanted a memo.
From,
I brought that up the other day.
You guys asked for a memo, but you didn't give me any details.
oh, shoot.
To put in the memo.
Okay, I will get that, yeah. The bad memo. Um,
I mean, I can type it up, just tell me the numbers.
sure, sure. No, our intentions were, to carry on as we have been, the last few years, so.
So the
Kim,
county takes on that increase then?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had an increase of 3%, which
Right.
took our premiums up. County intends to take on that increase,
Okay,
no extra cost to the
Employee,
employees. And that would include everything as it did last year with the dental, eye, all under one, flat premium. That the
okay.
county would pay out, and you can apply it to whatever you need to.
All right, thank
So-
you.
Is that all you want on the memo, or do you want it to, like, dollar amounts on there?
we can, yeah, we'll itemize it and dollar amount on it, yeah. What the
This-
3.2% increase was.
This
Yeah.
is Kathy. We
Hi,
usually get the sheet with the breakdown with all of the different plant. We haven't seen any of that either.
I should come out with that memo.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll get
perfect.
that sent out. We just signed that and sent it off the other day, so yeah, you'll get a copy of that.
Thank you.
Any else on non-agenda items? Any public comments on agenda items? Hearing none. Meeting adjourned. 4:09. Thank you, everybody, for the long haul. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotta rush out.
Oh, it's all good.